Hi, welcome back. Have you been dealing with family estrangement? In this video, you're going to learn some key reasons behind family estrangement and 5 things so you can feel better. Hi, I'm Marie Morin. I'm a therapist and a wellness coach, and I'm obsessed with helping people get out of stuck so they can live joyful, grateful lives in spite of their relational stress. Okay, let's get started. Family estrangement hits at least 27% of the U.S. population. And the fact that people keep it a secret because, so what's wrong with you? How come someone has decided to cut off from you, right? That whole thing. It keeps us in shame and guilt and wondering, so what is wrong with me? And the fact is that secret and keeping things in the shadow can really complicate your well-being. So we're going to discuss how to get out of the shadow by understanding and learning a few key things. Okay, so we know that it hits a lot of people. You are definitely not alone. The definition of estrangement is being alienated or separated in feeling or affection, and it's a state of hostility or unfriendliness. Family estrangement is a complex topic that deserves to come out of the shadow of secrecy. We need to be talking about it. We need to be learning about it because it keeps us stuck. It keeps us in a state of chronic stress. Whether you were rejected or you're the one that needed to detach from someone else, there is a stress involved. And one of the things that's really important is to remain informed and to keep yourself reading and listening and learning about this topic. So I have 3 resources that are really excellent. The first one is Carl Pilmer's Fault Lines, Fractured Families and How to Deal with Them. The second one is Rules of Estrangement, and this is by Joshua Coleman. This is excellent. They're all excellent. And Family Estrangement, A Matter of Perspective by Kylie Agalias. So they're all going to be referenced in the description box below, but let's get started with what's involved with estrangement. What's behind the estrangement condition? Estrangement can occur on a spectrum. So this is important because you might have physical contact with this person. Maybe you're seeing them, maybe regularly, or maybe on occasion, and there could be this thing where you get to see them, but there's this huge gap in emotional distancing. So it can happen in stages, or it can happen suddenly where there's this huge argument or something just tips you over the edge and there's a decision that's made that says, okay, that's it. I don't want to see them anymore. But there's a spectrum of being able to be in contact and not in contact, and there's this physical and or emotional distancing. And there could have been family generational patterns where maybe you learned that this was something that was just done. People get cut off. When things get too tough, the way that we do it is we cut somebody off, and that's how it's coped with. Estrangement can result from parental alienation. Now, in my last video, I talked about how they're 2 different things. However, being alienated as a child can really impact one's perspective if there's one parent that's painting the other parent as negative. That child grown can then have this perspective coming into adulthood that, okay, this person is just not safe. I have to stay away from them. There's also this idea of, which is so very common for so many families, which is ineffective communication. So there might be lack of skills in apologizing, taking responsibility, respecting one's right for space and time to cool off. There could be a pattern of hurtful words and unforgivable injuries occur. So families that lack really effective communication also lack the skills to apologize, and usually no resolution happens, and this sets an atmosphere for cutting off. Then there's also the idea of differing values. So let's talk about religion for a minute, okay? So someone may be an atheist, the other person is a hardcore believer in a specific religion. And because of that, there's just this tension of, my God, you don't have this. I really can't align with you. So it's a good idea to cut off or be cut off. And then we have differing values. So we could have people on different sides of the spectrum of religious beliefs. And one person's a hardcore Christian, say, and their idea of what is right and wrong is not your idea, or vice versa. This can be extremely stressful and can really set the stage for discomfort in the relationship. Then there's lifestyle differences. People are not accepting of different lifestyle differences and decide that, you know what, since you chose this, I have to cut myself off. Or since you don't accept my lifestyle, I'm going to cut you off. Then there's also unfulfilled expectations of parents, children, siblings, of not doing enough or being enough, and the disappointment can be perceived as rejection. What do I mean by that? So let's suppose that you think your mom or your dad failed you, or your child failed you, and there's this set of beliefs of, my goodness, they're really not doing what I think they should be doing. And that tension can create an atmosphere for cutting off to happen. Perceptions and how you view the condition of needing to estrange or having been estranged plays heavily and may not be apparent to the other. Estrangement begins with emotional strain and participates in illness and even exacerbates chronic illness. Put it simply, it's very painful. All right, let's talk a minute. So here's what's going on, and here's what I've been seeing and finding out from people that I treat and also the research. There's a gap, and the gap is, for me to feel better, I want this to happen. I want the person to accept me, or I want this person to behave in a certain way, or I just want to see this person and they're not willing to do that. And that gap I call a limbo state, because the time that you're at now, where things are not comfortable and really stressful and painful, you don't know how this other person is going to react and when they're going to come back, or if they ever come back. And you don't know on the other side if they're ever going to change. And in cases where there has been childhood abuse or abusive behaviors, the pausing of the relationship is absolutely necessary in order for the person to feel better and to gain some steam in their own life. So there are issues concerning this gap, meaning we have no control over what somebody else is going to do. That's just the way it goes. But where are we in this limbo state? And do we want to stay in this limbo state? We could be experiencing great pain that's included with some depression, anxiety, ruminating thoughts, blaming ourselves, what did I do, how did I go wrong, or blaming the other person and being hyper-focused on a certain outcome. And while, hey, I get it, I've been estranged, being both the person that's wanted to cut off and also the person that has been cut off, it doesn't feel good and you want resolution. However, there are some things you could do in the limbo state to help you feel better. And here we go. There are 5 things. First thing, be informed. So I gave you some great resources. Kylie Agalias's book, Dr. Carl Pilmer's book and Joshua Coleman's book. Those books are a great start, and listening to these videos will also help you. What will happen from being informed is reading other people's stories like yours, if you've been the one that's been cut off, and also reading the other side. What are these people thinking? What's going on in the minds of people that want to cut off? What are they feeling? This helps you build an empathy muscle. And empathy for other people and their viewpoint will help you better in the later stages if and when you want to attempt a reconciliation. All right, the second thing to do is to commit to daily self-care. I know. Everybody tells you this, and this is really an important step, because often when we're obsessed with something happening, or we're ruminating about it, or we just see one particular outcome, we could neglect our self-care. So do things that help you feel better. My approach has been to pray. I pray because it gives me some relief. I feel like if I could just give it to God and say, Lord, I need help with this, and I pray that this relationship gets better, there's a sense of comfort for me. There's also daily intentions that you can do. You can say to yourself every morning, I'm doing the best I can, and today I hope to do good by myself. I hope to help myself feel better. You can also do meditations, which will bring your stress level down. And I have a video that is all about breathing techniques also, and blogs that you can read, and a video about the benefit of meditations. So that's an access for you. Spend time with people you love. So yeah, you want to be with your loved one, but you're not. So do things that will help you feel better. Go for a walk. Keep moving. Stay healthy. Okay, tip number 3, explore your secret by practicing emotional visits. So your secret has more power if it's kept a secret. As long as you're exploring it and you're saying, okay, so what is it about me that's making me think there's something wrong with me because I feel the need to detach? Or what is it about me that I'm blaming myself so much for what happened with my loved one? Go explore that emotion. An emotional visit is when you take the time, an indefinite amount of time, where you actually allow yourself to feel and let it come out. Let yourself release. Let yourself feel the feeling, and don't judge that it's bad. If you're really angry, let yourself feel it. Then, when you've done and you feel a sense of relief, and you may feel even bad about it, it's not going to be comfortable. Emotional visits are not comfortable, but there will be a degree of relief. It's okay to cry, and it's a good idea to journal. I also have a video about journaling, so you might want to access that, because journaling is a really good way to slow our thoughts down and write down what we're thinking and feeling. Allow yourself this opportunity. Then when you feel like you've had enough, put it aside and go do something you enjoy. Then when you get the courage, go back to another emotional visit. Tip number 4, find support, okay? If you're caught in a trap of blaming others, blaming yourself, in self-criticism, self-dumping, you need some support. If you're caught in anxiety and depression and you just don't see a way out, you need support. Support means someone gets in your corner. Someone helps bring you out so that you're not trapped and you're not stuck. Fortify your foundation, because these tips will build your foundation so you're less likely to be stressed from all of this. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but the support will fortify you. It'll be good for you to ventilate, and your secret won't have as much power. And tip number 5, and this one is my favorite, and this is something we get to do, and it's called Awaken Your Gratitude. So awaken your gratitude is just to do that. So I have videos about that also, but you're going to want to just find something. Find one thing or one person you are grateful for, and then just think about it for 2 minutes. Let your body feel it. Okay, just let your body rest in the idea that there's something you're grateful for. There's also gratitude journaling you can do. There's also 5 things to recall. You're going to want to switch up your gratitude practice, but find out more about that in my gratitude series. You're going to want to go find that there. Estrangement is intensely stressful and heartbreaking. There's no doubt. No matter what side of it you're on, even if you think it's a good idea to separate, it leaves a gap inside of us that needs to be addressed. Your heart is open and your hope is open that something is going to happen. How about that something be? Not only do you want a resolution, whatever that is, if it means to reconnect with them or to make peace with yourself while you're on this journey, but it's also to have your heart open to take care of yourself and bring yourself into the mix. We don't want to go down with the ship, and this kind of stress can do that. The gap is there and it needs to be addressed. Your commitment to building your foundation for emotional wellness will strengthen you in your journey. Make gratitude your friend. Do what you need to do and bring a large portion of self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like a really good friend. Talk to yourself like you would your closest friend. Okay. So my next video, and you're going to want to watch that, is how to deal with your estranged adult children. And we're also going to have a video coming up to how to deal with estranging others. But I also have, and you're going to want to get that, feeling heartbroken and alone, how to pick up the pieces when you are estranged. It's an ebook. It's my gift to you. Just go down and access it. Well, I hope this has been a blessing to you. Watch my next video, how to deal with estranged adult children. Is it that one or that one? Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.